If you believe a better world starts from within, you're in the right place. Welcome to Hold the Light. I'm Lori Gunning-Grossman, founder of Hold the Light Collective. This is a special series, a guided exploration of the Freedom Transmissions, a spiritual book about building a strong inner foundation so you can show up more authentically in your life and in the world. Let's begin. The Justice of Divine Balance, pages 323 through 338. This chapter, it's about finding balance, letting go of what no longer serves, and trusting the natural flow of life. One theme we look at here is how when we chase external things, like success, approval, or control, it can leave us feeling empty and imbalanced, while focusing on things such as truth, peace, humility, and authenticity can lead to more clarity and fulfillment. We also explore why change and loss can be a path to freedom, even through the difficulty of it. Here, we're offered guidance on how to navigate life's transitions, including global energetic shifts, with grace, surrender, and purpose. This is the Justice of Divine Balance. We begin by taking a look at what happens when we're in our unbalanced illusion self. There are many times when we have a belief that something outside of ourselves will provide a feeling of fulfillment. Yet, when we focus on what is lacking in our lives and fixate on what should be rather than what is, this is when we find ourselves in an illusion of separation. So we learn here, and I think we already know this deep in our hearts, that real happiness doesn't come from chasing external things. As it says in the book, you may hit the bullseye on sex, money, and power, but focusing on such targets leaves your authentic self missing in action. So making these things our main focus can lead to our feeling empty and unsatisfied. The teaching offers that true fulfillment comes from accepting ourselves as we are and stopping the endless chase for more. True peace and freedom do not come from accumulating more or achieving perfection. We don't need to wait to be saved. We can save ourselves by choosing to free ourselves from the part of us, our separate self, that constantly seeks and desires without ever feeling satisfied. The book uses archery as a metaphor for life. The teaching explains how often we make life harder for ourselves by setting unrealistic goals or chasing the wrong things. As it says in the book, your minds love to race to Olympic archery distances before you have even effectively learned the discipline and work required to hold a bow. We often spend our lives shooting arrows at the wrong targets, chasing validation, status, power, or material success, only to find that even when we hit our mark, we still feel empty. This happens because the targets themselves are illusions. Even when success, money, or relationships are attained, they do not bring lasting peace if the foundation is unsteady. So, what do we need to do? Well, this is what we learn. Number 1, refocus our aim, and aim for targets that bring fulfillment, peace, and connection. Number 2, adjust expectations and understand that true transformation takes time and alignment. And number 3, release any illusion of perfection. Stop trying to project an image onto the world that is not the reality of who we are. Embrace authenticity over unattainable ideals. So, how can we naturally hit the bullseye of worthy targets? We learn that the more honest you are, the more balanced your bow, the more open your soul's eye. Through accepting what you are designed to be, hitting the mark will be effortless, for you have already hit the mark within self. The teaching here talks about how it's necessary to go through periods of release and renewal. And we learn that without release, there's imbalance. There are times when our soul must let go in order to expand. During times of transformation, loss is often the first step. However, loss is not punishment, even if it may feel uncomfortable, messy, or even painful. It's a form of realignment. Losing a job may open doors to a more meaningful path. A relationship ending may create space for deeper self-discovery. Releasing old ways of thinking may allow for greater expansion. So, when viewed through the right lens, loss is not an ending but a doorway to something new. Rather than resisting, we're called to embrace this release that allows for greater freedom, clarity, and lightness. We are asked to look for the liberation within a loss. That it can be an opportunity for reevaluation, refinement, restoration, and simplification. A realignment from a path and course that was becoming or would have become imbalanced chaos. Less can be more. It's shared with us that we're in a time where our world is going through a necessary period of release and renewal. It's a time on our planet where resurrection means moving more deeply into alignment with the earth. The frequency of the earth is shifting, calling for a collective rebalancing. As the earth evolves, we need to evolve with her. Many of the struggles being experienced, exhaustion, anxiety, disconnection, stem from being out of sync with the natural rhythms of life. So, the more we resynchronize with the earth and her cycles and rhythms, the more we'll thrive. As it said, our earth is moving into her moon time now, meaning that dominance and suppression structures are crumbling to make way for healthy polarities and hierarchies of balance to emerge. And we learn, as our earth is going through a rebalance, we're to expect more natural events, just as we've been seeing these past years. These events will catalyze shifts within us. So there needs to be a balance between our inner and outer life. We're asked to be more accountable for the density or light of our own energy. Everything, our mental, emotional, physical, and intuitive balance as well. The world will mirror back to us our internal reality. So thriving in this new energy requires us to accept change while taking care of ourselves through the progress. You might find yourself needing more alone time, extra space for integration, and this could mean listening to our bodies, honoring rest, nourishment, and energetic shifts, releasing unnecessary consumption, so creating space rather than filling every moment, and trusting the cycles of life, understanding that every transition has a purpose. This period of change is not something happening to us, it's happening for us. There are two choices: fight against it, resist it, and struggle, or surrender, adapt, and trust. The offering shares that it's important now to sit, feel, and allow revelation to come to us through our own personal process. The use of cards, crystals, classes, and conventions are fine, but we all need to put more of an emphasis on our own personal process of our evolution, without judgment of what others are experiencing. And we're to remember that this is not a passive process. This is an active process. Growth requires participation, even when the path forward is unclear. The less resistance there is, the faster clarity arrives. And we're being called to engage and participate in the process of change, even when we can't fully see the path ahead. Rather than waiting for external circumstances to improve, change begins within. Despite how things may look on the outside in our external world, we learn that peace is what's driving the shifts into this era of transparency. It won't be fully realized for a while, we learn, but the text does tell us that the high and mighty will fight hard to keep their power, including their own egos. There will be internal clashes and external ones as well, but that at some point in time, we will all be so oversaturated in dissonance that we'll be ready to come together. But we individually can choose the path of peace right now. We can choose to be light holders, lighting the way for others. The same way our animals, elders, children, and our soul elders do for us. They are our great teachers. They are examples of living authentically. They simply are who they are without pretending. Rather than resisting what is, it's allowing for what is to create space for a more harmonious way of living. We cannot thrive alone. This is a call to be in community, in co-creation. And it's a call to return to simplicity and authenticity. The text shares that there's such strength in allowing and being just as you are. When you can allow yourself to just be, you have the space to create and or become everything that leads to your deepest fulfillment, service, and joy in a way that's harmonious with all others. That is balance. Living for self without needing to force that self onto others. By letting go of constant striving and accepting ourselves as we are, we can find real peace and help create positive change in the world. To close this episode, I'd like to read the Nothing Prayer, which is found at the end of this chapter on page 335 before the meditation. As recommended in the book, this prayer is the gateway to everything, and it's recommended that we recite it often. It's a prayer to shift our focus from the chaos of everything to restore the simplicity of nothing, and to liberate us from attachments to dissonance and want. So here it goes. The Nothing Prayer. I have nothing. I want nothing. I will be brought what I need. I have nothing, yet I am everything. I am the light. All that I perceive I have belongs to God, including my soul and my spirit. All that I am is of God, including my soul and my spirit. Divine presence is with and within me. I am the freedom and the power. I can shift my perception, create with deep joy, and choose to whom and to what I am braided. I am here on borrowed time. Even my time belongs to God. Instead of rushing, waiting, and putting off, I vow to fill that borrowed time with love. My time is my currency now. My presence is what gives it value. I have nothing. I am rich as a king or queen. My time is sacred. Life is sacred. Death is sacred. I am grateful and worthy of all the beautiful nourishment that I'm given. I vow to serve through the joy and abundance of the nothing that is everything. That is my path in prayer. That is God's way. I am of God. I am. Sancte Pace. Amen. Here's your focus until the next episode. Read or reread the chapter called The Three Strands of the Braid of the Holy Trinity, found under Transmission 7, The Braid, the Star, Rebirth. This chapter, it's a long one, so I'm breaking it up into two parts. Read pages 339 through 362. In this first part, part 1, there are 2 homework exercises to do. In the audiobook, listen to The Three Strands of the Braid of the Holy Trinity, found under Transmission 7, The Braid, the Star, Rebirth. Listen to it up until the end of the second homework exercise. All links and information are in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Keep holding the light. If this series is resonating with you, I'd love to stay connected. Visit holdthelightcollective.com to sign up for my weekly newsletter, Build the Light. It's where I share good news for the soul, plus my latest events and offerings. All links are in the show notes. And if this podcast has meant something to you, the most generous thing you can do is share it with someone. Hold the Light is produced by me, Lori Gunning-Grossman, with additional producing and sound design by Jonathan Grossman, who also wrote our original theme music. Until next time, keep holding the light.